So before we get started, if you are watching live, please say hello so I can say hi back to you. And if you're watching on the replay, hashtag replay so I know you stopped by and saw my video. So, and if you guys are on YouTube, if you're not watching this on YouTube, you can go onto YouTube after this is done. And if you click on the subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications, then you would see me every time that I come live, or you would get notified. Facebook doesn't always do the best job at notifying when I come live, so YouTube is a little better at that. So yes, so if you like what I'm doing and what I'm talking about today, I would encourage you to go and like my channel so you can see, and there's lots of other stuff on there too. So anyway, so 5 ways to increase your self-love. So I had a prompt the other day with a group of in my group that I run, and the prompt was of like, on a scale of 1 to 10, where does your kind of like self-love lie? Like, what number would you give yourself for like body acceptance or self-love of your body, right? And it actually made me really emotional, and I actually like, I felt like I could cry. I don't cry easily, but it broke my heart to see so many people, and like other groups that I'm in as well. Um, when we're talking about women and their love for themselves, it's really heartbreaking to know that so many women uh, gave themselves like a 2 or a 1 or a negative number when we're talking about how much they love themselves. And I just, it really makes me sad to know that there is so many people that are going through that in their lives. And I just want to help them see their light and shine their light brighter. And that's a lot of why I'm doing the work that I'm doing right now. So we'll get started. So here are just going to be 5 quick and simple tips in order to increase your self-love, if that is something you feel that you could use some help working on and you just don't know where to start. What I find, my first thing is to set boundaries. So just think about for a minute, how do people treat you? Um, do they speak unkindly to you? Do they trample on you or your dreams, or do they kind of talk down to you? That's a really good indication of your own work of not setting boundaries with those people. So knowing that I come from being a people pleaser, so I understand if you feel like that is something that you do, or something that you are being surrounded by is people that don't treat you well and that speak unkindly to you or trample on your dreams, those kind of things. It's hard. It's hard to overcome that whole people pleaser stigma, right? So, my first piece of advice for that would be to know when to say no. So, saying no and being confident and lovingly saying no. uh, and you're going to hurt people probably. Um, and some people may leave your life because of that. But uh, if they were to leave because you're setting a boundary, then maybe did you want them in your life anyway, is a question to ask yourself. So setting boundaries is super important in loving ourselves, because it's showing people that we value ourselves enough that we are willing to stand up for how we want to be treated, and give people an example of how we deserve to be treated and how amazing we are. And people are then going to see that, like they're going to reflect on that, and they're going to be able to say, hey, I can't treat that person like that, because they're going to stand up for themselves, right? So it's a hard lesson, and it doesn't come easily. And I know it didn't come easily to me, and I still work on it. But all of these things, it's a journey. Like, it's not something that you just check the boxes off and you feel like you've accomplished it and it's like, okay, done, now next thing, right? So that is something that people who struggle with self-love, is a really good thing to work on, is setting boundaries for yourself. Um, and then number 2 is self-talk. Self-talk is huge, 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 you guys. Um, so when you think about it, think about how you speak to, if you spoke to your friends the way that you spoke to yourself, would you still be friends? you can probably say that you wouldn't, right? Because sometimes we are our most hardest critics of our own self. And so we have to realize that people, that if we're treating ourselves in a way that we would never treat our friends in that way, then that's a good kind of reflection to know that, hey, maybe I should be nicer to myself, right? So, um, so just notice the thoughts, like when you notice that negative self-talk coming in to your mind, if just being able to stop it and reverse it into positives would be my advice. So when you have that negative thought creeping in, just being able to pause, which is hard. I know it's hard, but like being able to pause and being able to be like, no, no. Like, let's say, for example, you make a mistake at work and be like, oh, I'm so stupid. I'm not good at this job. Like, I'm horrible. Like, someone else would do better at this than me. Um, stopping yourself in that moment and giving yourself grace, giving yourself compassion, and just changing that into a positive of like, I made a mistake today, but I still am valuable. I still am good at what I do. I still show up every day, and just being able to turn those negative thoughts into positive ones so you can walk away from that situation, still maybe feeling like you made a mistake. However, still being able to treat yourself with compassion and kindness and not having that negative self-talk in your mind. And then number 3 for increasing your self-love is allowing yourself to feel painful emotions. This is also really hard for a lot of people. We tend to, especially I know me as a woman, I tend to stuff my emotions or feel like I should stuff my emotions. Um, you know, that would be showing weakness, and just knowing that that's not healthy, and knowing that it's okay to feel painful emotions. Like if you're having a day when you're feeling sad, to know that it's okay to feel sad. And if you're having a day where you're mad at something or you're mad at life or whatever it is, um, being able to sit with those emotions and being able to kind of support and comfort and love yourself in those tough seasons. um, when you're able to support and comfort and love yourself when you need it the most, right? um, so that's a really big thing, is just allowing yourself to feel, right, to have emotions and feel them and know that those emotions are okay. Like it's okay to feel, it's okay to feel sad, it's okay to feel angry, it's okay to feel scared. Like there's all these different emotions that we face daily that we often try and hide because we think that that's not what the world needs to see. The world needs to see us being happy and positive and excited and bubbly, and where that's not the reality of our human being, right? um, so that would be my third piece of advice. And then my fourth piece of advice is to watch who you spend the most time with. This one's interesting, and my mentor explains this well too, of like your 5% of people. There's anyway, I'm not going to go into that part, but just think about that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So looking around at your friend group or the people that you spend the most time with, and just realize or think about if those people are people who are either bringing you down, or are they people who are helping you to shine brighter. So really being careful with your circle of people. And you know, I did a video on my Instagram today on just explaining how it was just like a little funny reel, but it's like, you can change the people around. You cannot change the people around you, but you can change the people around you. So meaning that you cannot change the people around you. Like you cannot change the way that they are, but you can change who you surround yourself with. So you can change the people around you. So I like it. It's a really good way to look at things, right? Um, so yeah, just making sure that the people you surround yourself are people who are helping you to shine brighter and encouraging you and uplifting you, and because we need those people in our lives, and that's how we succeed, is by having those people in our corners, right? Um, And then my fifth piece of advice for helping you to increase your self-love is to find out who you really are. Lots of times society kind of ingrains us in our minds of who and what we should be, how we should show up for life, what we should do in our lives. And we really have to start analyzing who we really are and what feeds our soul and what makes us happy, and where we see our life, like what we want out of our lives. Um, and we're doing this by a lot of personal development, right? Like the more that we do the work to get to know ourselves, the more we are going to be able to show up for our lives in a way that feeds our soul, right? Um, and then it's also like, I think, so if you were to ask me my, out of a scale of, so maybe in the comments if you're watching this, or if you're watching it later, we have in my group Imperfectly Perfect You, we did talk about this the other day. But if you are watching this and you feel inclined to, just let me know on a scale of 1 to 10 or 0 to 10, what is your self-love in your life right now? How do you feel about yourself? So is it a 0? Is it a 10? Is it somewhere in between, right? And then just thinking about how could we make that number 1 higher? Like, what is a step that you could take to make that number 1 higher than it was before? So if your number, like let's say my number is a 7 or an 8, how could I make that number a 9 or a 10? So what are the things that I need to do for myself to make myself that 9 or 10, right? So looking at those things, and then people often, or I don't think I realized before in the beginning of my journey, that self-love kind of allows you to show up in so many different ways for other parts of your life. Like when I kind of had my moments or my seasons or my years of hating my body and not appreciating my body and not being grateful, um, I didn't realize how much that was linked to how I was showing up for the rest of my life. Since I am on this journey uh, of self-love, I've realized that in turn, for me working on myself and loving myself and striving to love myself more every day, um, I then also realized that my confidence is better, my self-esteem is better, my self-worth is better. Uh, I forgive more easily. I set better boundaries. Like all these things that make us more like confident people are actually linked to the way we feel about ourselves, right? So I don't think, or at least I didn't understand that, and I do now. And so I just hope that everyone else realizes the power that lies in our loving ourselves just as we are in this moment, right? So just knowing that life is a journey, and loving ourselves may be our life's work. It may be something that it is something that it is our life's work. It is a part of our life that just is continually evolving, continually growing. And if we take those steps to work on those things, we're going to have all these other parts of our life flourish as well, right? So just think about what would happen in your life if you loved yourself more. Would you be more confident? What happens if you start showing up for your life in a way that fills your soul and your heart, and uh, makes you feel alive and makes you feel loved and worthy and enough? Like those are things that so many people struggle with, and I'm just here to hopefully help you feel a little more encouraged to know that you are enough, you are amazing, you are worthy, you are capable, you are beautiful, you are unique, and you are imperfectly perfect just as you are. So I hope these tips might help you and you got something from this. So before I pop out of here, I'll just mention a couple of ways that you can hang out with me more if you would like to. So I have a group called Imperfectly Perfect You. We are a group of women empowering each other to love our imperfectly perfect selves. And we focus a lot on self-love at any size. We would love to have you in there if that's something that you feel like you'd like to be a part of. And so there's that. And then um, if you are looking for some personal development ideas on how to further your journey in your self-love practice, I have a couple ways that you can work with me in my Find Your Magic series. I have a self-love journal called Find Your Magic, Finding Your Magic, so finding love for your imperfectly perfect self through journaling. So I have a journal that also has a course that you can purchase with it, that takes you through journaling prompts, but also takes you through those things with meditations and yoga and affirmations and stuff like that. So those things, the links are in either on my website or in the comments below. And then if you want a little bit, if one-on-one work is something that you're more interested in, I do have a Self-Love Through the Chakras program where I take people through chakra work and crystal healing in order to kind of figure out, like, develop a personalized plan on how you can heal your kind of self-love piece of your world. And we do a lot of different, like, therapeutic practices like yoga, meditation, crystal work, journaling, all that kind of stuff. So if that's something you're interested in and want to learn more about, you can message me the word chakra and I can just have a quick 15-minute chat with you, either online or in person, or we can just text on Messenger, whatever works for you. Would love to chat with you if that's something that you feel like you would like help with. So anyway, I hope you guys found this helpful, and I'm just happy that I'm able to show up like this for you guys, and it makes my heart happy to know that I might help you to love yourself a little bit more than you did before. So hope you guys have the best day, and we'll talk to you soon.